Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world, and welcome to Gift of Healing TV. I'm Sara Jane. My guest today is Norman Gordon. Norman, thank you so very much for joining me.
My pleasure, Sarah. Thank you so much indeed. I really appreciate your invitation. It's wonderful being here. Let me say greetings to everyone. Thank you for being here with us today.
And it's a pleasure to have you. And Norman's going to be talking about his new book coming out towards the end of May, Thriving Through Faith, From Suicidal to Service. The title of our program today is Discovering You. Let me introduce just a little bit about Norman. Norman is an international best-selling author, poet, and devoted family man. He is a life coach who partners with clients to uncover tools for well-being enhancement. Norman, thank you for joining us. And please, and we've got Amanda here and Diane. So we've got a couple of folks here that are watching and listening to us live. Thank you, folks. And please, if you've got any questions, ask, and I will ask them of Norman. Norman, share a little about yourself and what brought about the book.
Sarah, thank you so much indeed. I want to say, my life, early life, it was one that had different sides to it. I enjoyed my childhood, but I was raised in a home where the atmosphere at times was tense. Abuse was present as it relates to my dad abusing my mother verbally and physically, and he verbally abused my siblings and I. We did our best as children to really enjoy life, but it was not the happiest of life, especially when we hear the sounds we didn't want to hear. Also, when our mom, started crying, it was not good. It happened that sometimes in 1983, my mom made a decision to part company with my dad. And after she parted company with him, which we still kept in touch with him, things took a turn where we started to experience a different side of mom. She was looking so frustrated. She was beating on us, which she has never done. She started to yell at us boisterously. It didn't go well for us, especially me. And I questioned it. Why did I attract, so much beating? It got to a point where I said to myself, I can't take this anymore. I decided to end my life. Now, where we moved to was my maternal parents' residence. Under the cellar of the house, there was a piece of rope used for tying cattle. I took out the rope. Now, my little sister, 2 years younger than I am, whenever I get beating, she would be behind me. She would be there crying for me. And that day when I got a beating, when I sped off from where my mother was, my sister came there with me. It's hot here where I am. Now, When I took the rope from under the cellar, she was still behind me. I went to a mango tree and I put an end of the rope around my neck, an end on a limb of the mango tree. Now my sister was still there behind me. And while the rope was there on the mango tree limb and around my neck, she now started pulling on my clothes. I had on a t-shirt that was torn, and she added to that torn t-shirt through pulling it. Now she was crying incessantly. The way she was crying, it was unbearable. And that pushed me to not continue with what I was going to do. And I want to say, I felt my sister. I felt what was going through her. And even though I wanted to carry out that act, I could not have done it because of how I felt. I discontinued the action. It was difficult pulling that rope from around my neck. I eventually did it. Then my sister and I, we went back at the front of the house. And here I am today, singing. I'm grateful to know that my past shaped me into who I am right now. Thank you so much.
And that's just it, isn't it? Our past shapes us. Our past creates who we are. Can you do me a favor and mute your mic, please? Thank you. Our past does shape us. And you weren't meant to commit suicide. You weren't meant to leave the world that day. Because you have a story to share. You have a gift to share. And I am a great believer in our healing journey is our gift to others. So how old were you when that happened? Unmute your mic.
Thank you so much. I was at the tender age of 10. 10 years old. Yes. And, I want to say thanks to my sister, Diane, who is right there right now listening. I'm glad to know that she was there to rescue me. I really appreciate that. Indeed.
I think it's important to understand that things happen in our lives for a reason. And you went through what you went through. Did the beatings and everything continue? Did you leave home? How did you get yourself through the time? Like, I'm guessing this is all in the book, so we don't want to give too much away. But I suppose the title of the program is Discovering You. So at what point did you start that process of discovering you beneath everything that had happened to you with your father and then with your mother?
All right. When the beating got really intense, I left the home on numerous occasions to tell my father what was going on. Sometimes he would come and have a talk with my mom. My little sister would be there with me as well. Having told him what was going on, I thought he would have said, come and live with me, or I thought things would have stopped. But things continued, the beatings continued. One Friday evening, and that's the same evening when I wanted to end my life. After my sister interjected, I relaxed, and then about an hour or two later, I packed a weekend bag because I said to myself, I was so uncomfortable in this situation. So I said to myself, I have to take myself away from this environment. I packed a weekend bag. Now I knew of a bus that plied a particular route. And sometime about 8:30 p.m., I made a decision to board that bus. And when I got on the bus, I just told the conductor about a location. I've never been there, but I know I heard someone talking about that place some time ago. It's a district in a place called Portland. The district is called Prospect. The ride was about 2 hours. So I got to a location sometime after 10 p.m. Now, I did not know the area. So when the bus stopped, the conductor said, because I would have told him that I was going to Prospect. The conductor said, who is going to Prospect? I said, me. So he pointed across the street. That's Prospect. So I got off the bus and I went across the main road. And it was complete darkness. I walked a little until there was light. And you could know that the place was sparsely populated. And I saw a house on the left-hand side. There was a red picket gate. And I knocked there. When I knocked, this woman came out, and I saw 2 children behind her. A little boy and a little girl. The little girl could have passed for my age at that time, 10 years old, and the little boy looked as if he was 2 years younger. She said to me, how can I help you? I said, I'm here to see my aunt Monica. No, that's a fictitious name. I've never had an aunt by the name of Monica. She said to me, there's no Monica living here. But then she came closer to me and said, well, it's late and you won't be able to travel back home tonight. So come in. When I got in, she asked me a few questions like, where am I from? And my parents' name. And why did I want to be with my Aunt Monica? I said to her, my mother beats me a lot, and I come to stay with my Aunt Monica. And these are in the book that's coming out. Thriving Through Faith, from Suicidal to Service. So I overnight at that house. Then Saturday morning, I went back home. So when I went back home, my mom and sisters were going to church because My mom is a Saturday church attendee. So I went home, they were not there. I relaxed myself. And then right there, I planned my next course of action, which was healing, and it did well for me.
We can be so resilient, can't we? And we have to be. And so your healing journey started at the age of 10. At what stage were you able to actually leave the family home? Because I'm guessing that the beatings didn't stop at that point, that you still went through stuff until such time as you could leave home. So share a little of how things moved forward for you. Even if you leave out some of the story, it's where does your healing, you said that's where your healing journey really started, but where does it really come? Where do you really start finding you?
Thanks for that question. All right, when I returned home, my mom and sisters were not there. Now, I've been an avid reader since I was 6 years old. I was a member of the library, right? Now, I always had, my writing pad, among other things, were always close by. The good thing is this as well. We had a lovely garden, lush greenery. Nature planted that garden. I took my writing implements that day. I started to go out in nature more. I was reading more. I made a connection with nature that opened me to growing. I was connected with the plants. So I would write poems based on what I see in nature. I would write poems describing the birds I was there looking at. These things I'm saying to you now, they were born from that era. And it was just a glow to know that I could have found peace out there. I used to do sketches, look at the trees, even the ones without leaves, and sketch. Just do something. And it wasn't about being perfect. It was about making a connection with things that gave me peace. And I stayed in that moment. And that was a part of what really stopped me from crying. I used to go out there and cry, but it got to a point where the tears didn't come that much again because a sense of peace was felt. Now, when my mother and sisters returned from church, we didn't have any conversation because I made a decision to just distance myself from the family. And it worked well for me. Subsequent days, if it's not a school day, I would still go out in nature. And even at school, I would find the areas where I can see the lush greenery, the grass growing, and make a connection. And those really did well for me. And that's why I am the poet I am today.
Do you know, I 100% get that about nature. I didn't have happen to me what happened to you, but I didn't feel I belonged in the family I was in. I did, but I didn't feel it. And my times of sanity, if you like, were taking the dogs for a 2-hour walk and getting out into nature. Where we lived on at one time, we weren't that far from the beach, but it was lovely to go down, and we literally had to go down to the beach and then along the beach and up the cliff. There were 100-something steps up the cliff side. And it would be a 2-hour walk where I was totally free of all the people pleasing, that stressing about what other people thought about me, my insecurities, etc. And I didn't write, and I didn't really read either. But I am a great one for daydreaming. Whatever those might be, I am a great one for daydreaming. You did that in your own way. You turned, rather than me ever writing the daydreams down, you turned your thoughts, your feelings, you put them down on paper. And nature is a wonderful healer. So do you feel that doing what you did helped you to start to find who you are?
Yes, indeed. That's why I really like the topic for today, discovering you. I didn't know much of what I was doing that time because I didn't know about therapy. Yes. But what I know is I was guided by the Spirit. And something said to me, this is what you need. And I moved ahead. And the connection was really great. And I want to say something to you, Sarah, and the listeners. And I see some wonderful persons here. Yes, my sister Diane, indeed. Amanda, that's one of my clients. And indeed, yes, Creole Joe. I listened to one of her programs, and I want to say special hi to my family. Yes, blessings to my beautiful life partner, Abby. Yes, indeed, my son, Nortonio, and indeed, our other, yes, family members. I'm glad to be here, and thank you all for you. And I want to say, Sarah, at that same spot, I attempted suicide. It was in that area that I found peace. Right there. And it did well for me. Purpose is so wonderful, and pain really prepares us for purpose. Thank you so much.
So I know that you've obviously, your gift to yourself was your poetry, was nature. So some thoughts for the people that may be watching live or watch later. Some suggestions, some thoughts of what they could do to help themselves until such time as they find what resonates with them in respect of, because we all have to seek support in some way. We can't do it ourselves as much as we would love to. I didn't do it for myself. I had support. I've done a lot of it. And Diane's just written a comment here, Diane Woodford. Diane, pain has a way to push us to peace if we allow. Peace allows clarity, and clarity reveals purpose. So some thoughts, some suggestions to folks. what they could potentially do to support themselves till they find the right person to support them.
I really appreciate that question. Let me say to everyone, thanks for being here again. We all have struggles. You may be struggling where you are right now. I'm saddened by the fact that people are struggling. People are going through difficult times. To that person out there who feels as if it's the end for them, to that person who is going through difficult times, let me say, you're not alone. I am here for you. I am here with you. And many other people are there. Please reach out to someone. Also, I want to say, in your own space, what skill do you have? Do you like to cook? Perhaps you can just take a time to explore recipes. That's really good. What about handicraft? You can just go out there in nature, get a stick, get some leaves, get some glue, create a fan from those. Go out in nature, take a walk. There are things out there to give you comfort. Look at the shapes of trees. Look at leaves. Communicate with what you see out there. I went there once and I still do it. What about indeed having a conversation with someone on the phone? What about that person who was there for you some time ago? Make a connection. Have a talk. The park is there. Take a walk. If it's even you alone, go to the recreational park. Meet people. It does well. You can visit schools. Have fun with the children. Have your inner child. Feel the glow children give. And I know these things, they will definitely work. Do you like to sing? That's another thing. You don't have to be perfect. Just let your voice echo. Write something. When it comes on to expressive writing, it's not about the punctuation marks or capitalizing. It's just about expressing yourself. Get the writing pad, get the pen, get the paper, and just put anything right there. The mirror is there. Go before the mirror. When you go before the mirror, you're going to see an image. That image is an image for you to be proud of. When I was going through those difficult times, I used to kiss the mirror a lot. And another thing, I got to the point where I approached my mom and dad. I was bitter, but it got to a point when I said to myself, I have nothing against these two beings anymore because they created a star. And I saw myself as a star. And it allowed me to love them more. Because what? I grew to appreciate the persons who created this star. See the star within you. And feel free to reach out to me for more. Thank you so much.
And that's it, isn't it? It's being true to who we are. And I'm not sure, because we've got Amanda and one's saying Creole Joe and one's saying Battle Axe. But we've got a comment. Norman, how do you suggest a person get started writing or expressing themselves creatively as self-therapy? And how does one use it for healing without being critical of the work so it stays therapeutic? And I'm going to make a comment here. Whether you can sing or not, sing. Whether you can write or not, write. For me, it doesn't matter. This is just, I think Norman's already said it. This is just about being able to freely express yourself. And for me, I would say it's helping you to find your voice, even if you're not sure you can actually vocalize it to start with. You're finding your voice. And this is somebody who really felt she had no voice at all, and now she works with her voice in the form of toning. So it's just like so from somebody who didn't feel and I'm sure Norman didn't feel he had a voice for too long. The writing is a way of finding your voice. So sorry, but I get what you're saying, and I hope that, and I'm sure you're going to repeat what I've just said.
Indeed. All right. And thank you so much for these comments in the chat. They are so wonderful. Thank you, Diane, for that. And, Amanda, I really appreciate this. I was brought up in an era where I was told that children should be seen and not heard. I normalized that. And that's why I used to put things on paper. But it got to a point where when I started to do that mirror work and started to communicate with myself more, I said, I have a voice. And then voice added to what's on paper did well for me. Now, as it relates to how do you suggest a person get started writing or expressing themselves creatively as a self-therapy? Thank you so much for that, Amanda. Really appreciate it. Now, one of the things I took pride in doing was to go before the mirror. The image I look at in the mirror, I write about that image. What do I like about me? If I like my eyes, I'm going to write a poem about my eyes. If I like my fingers, I'm going to write a poem about my fingers. It got to a point where I found out that I liked everything about me. So I wrote about my entire being. Why I got to like everything about me was because I understood that everything was connected. And it makes no sense writing about my eyes if I'm not going to write about my entire being. So I took it one stage at a time. Eyes, fingers, head, everything, until I write a poem about the complete Norman. I read it to myself. And through reading that to myself, even though I do it, it does something well to me. So then I would have read it to myself. Having read it to myself, I felt better about me because I was there making a connection with Norman. I was making a connection with the survivor who was thriving and not the victim who seemed to have been dying. Right? No, and how does use it? Being critical of, okay, fine. Yes, so, and this is it. At no point did I down myself. I spoke to myself, I poured into myself as if I was celebrating another person. I saw no fault. All I saw was someone who deserved to be celebrated, and I celebrated me. And everything I put on that paper built my confidence. And it wasn't about being perfect, it was about just putting things on paper. And that did it for me. Through creativity, the best aspects of Norman was born. So thank you for that question, Amanda.
It is so important. We are our own cheerleader. We really have to be. It's not about looking for acknowledgement, acceptance, understanding from other people. It is about finding all of that within ourselves for ourselves. And some people write. You wrote and you drew. It's finding and me, it was walking and daydreaming. I mean, and now having discovered the sound, I very much use the energy of Reiki and the energy of sound for me. And I still do my daily walks. I've been out for a walk in the local wood today. So what works for you is what's important, isn't it? We are lovers of nature, you and me. But not everybody can get to nature. So maybe it's a matter of meditating and taking yourself in a meditation to a place you feel safe. And hopefully that will be in nature. But the joy is you can go anywhere. I'm a great one in meditation for flying off planet. just take me away from here. Not that I wish to leave, but there are parts of me that do. I'm here. I'm here for as long as I'm required here. And that's fine. I have no problems with that. I get the feeling my soul just loves being up there. And it's trusting that. I find myself writing poems. I'm going to say to you, Gordon, I'm going to throw this at you because I know we didn't talk about this. By any chance, do you have one of your poems to hand that you could read out for everybody? Aren't I horrible? Just turn your mic on.
All right, something is here. Thank you so much for asking that indeed. Oh, I wasn't prepared for that, but indeed, for this life, you have to be prepared at all times. Now, this poem is called Healer's Rhythm. Love, the heart's abode, garnished with peace, traveler's safe road. Love dissolves thirst, ambience of truth, emotions, honoring feelings first. Love, taste of tenderness, glazed with gladness, flows faithfully, sees sacredly. Love ends search, commences worth, documents events as effective student. Love, bouquet with buds of patience, banquet for mood enrichment. Love, vineyard with vines defining kindness, crystalline understanding, humility rich fortress. Love, from an angel's feathers to angelic treasure, spar of security, wind of stability. Love, Adhesive voice of flame adding diamond to a name. Love activates perspiring berries, intentionally ignites thankful wings. Love, word engraved in touch, cuddly, sometimes meaningfully tough. Love, a healer's rhythm. Poem.
Bless you. Thank you so very much for that. That was beautiful. We are coming to the close of the program. And Norman, what you've shared with us here is beautiful. Thank you so much. Is there anything we haven't touched on that you would like to share before we close?
Anything we haven't touched on? All right, so for my memoir, that's the book, Thriving Through Faith, From Suicidal to Service. There's a tentative date, the 26th day of May. One love to everyone. And I just want to say to everyone, thank you for being you. Thank you for the light within you. It's needed. Blessings. Sarah, thanks a lot.
Bless you. Thank you so much. I'm going to put because if anybody wants to connect with you, then I know for some reason this is not letting me do this. I'm going to put your Facebook page up because I don't appear to have a website address for you. But I'll put your Facebook. If you wish to connect with Norman, please learn a bit more about him. Please go to his Facebook page. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I've put that link into the information below the video as well. So please consider learning more about him, learning more about his book. And if you feel drawn to connect with him, do that. We don't go into sales pitches. It's just, if things feel right for you, then please connect with people. It's really important because we're here to help people. We're here to support people. So there were times in our own lives when we very much had to rely on ourselves. All of us tend to have to. But there is support out there for each and every one. So I hope you'll consider doing that. Norman, it has been a real pleasure. You are a treasure. Thank you so much for what you've shared with us here today. And I hope folks will buy a book. I hope they will learn from what you have experienced and know that people aren't alone. There are so many people out there who will understand you because you understand them. And that's why we share what we share. So thank you, young man. It has been a real pleasure.
It's my pleasure as well. And thanks again to everyone. Sarah, I really appreciate this experience. It has done a lot for me. World, thank you for having the book on your heart.
Bless you. Thank you. Next week, we have another program for you. Are you an everyday woman who honors the woman within? Paula J. Roscoe. So if you feel like joining us, she's writing a monthly magazine to support sort of women. I'm here for men and women. So this is but sometimes, and that's why I've been so delighted to have Norman on. If you think about joining us next week, please do. The Gift of Healing TV website. It's all on there. Thank you again to our amazing guests. Thank you to those of you who've been watching live as well. It's been very much appreciated having you here. Take care, be safe, stay well. Namaste, sweet souls. Bye.